Hey, everybody, Lieutenant Joe here for the Blue Heart Podcast. Thank you for being here, everybody. Today, I want to talk real quick about what I call lights, camera, action. Right? We are in an era now where we have body cameras, we have car cameras, there's Ring doorbells, there's cameras everywhere that record everything. And what I wanted to make sure that we understood is that I do a block of this training and I call it light camera action because you got to understand with all of that camera rolling in a world that says if it's not on film, it didn't happen. People want to see the video. You have to be able to use that video to your advantage, right? And in a criminal case, it can be very helpful. What is better than having a great on-camera confession by a suspect combined with great forensics and crime scene stuff and witnesses and all that together? It is very, very powerful. But using that camera to your advantage is really important. So one of the things that I've read, I can't tell you countless number of times, when I became a sergeant, as a detective, lieutenant, is that I would read somebody's report and it would say, I stopped this car because it ran a red light, or I stopped this car, it had a tail light out. I stopped this car for whatever reason. And as I approached the vehicle, I talked to the driver, and there were other people in the vehicle. And for my safety and the safety of other officers, our concern for our safety, I had them exit the vehicle, and I did A, B, C, and D. Then you watch the video, and you see the officer walk up and say, "Hey, how's everybody doing? What are you doing? Where are you coming from? What's going on?" "Yeah, I stopped you because you ran through a red light back there. Can I see your license, registration, your insurance?" Right? It doesn't match up to what you wrote. And our key to being successful is when we write our reports is that we are accurate in how we report what happened. So the idea, you may have been concerned for your safety and the other officers, and you just did not show it in that video. When I look at it, I say, you don't look very concerned at all. So is this a subterfuge? Is this something you're doing just to, get people out of the car? So what I suggest you do is pay attention that camera is running. Tell people what you want them to know. Now, I know walking up to a car at 2:00 in the morning that has 4 individuals in it is concerning. You don't know who they are. What are they doing out that late? Are they just guys partying? They just commit a robbery or burglary. Are they going to attack you? Are you alone? How far away is your backup? Are they coming, or are you in a rural area where no one's coming? Right? So the whole idea is, as you're walking up to that car, make observations. And one of the things I suggest is that if there are people in the car moving around, making you nervous, you can't see, say that. Tell them what you want them to know. "How you doing? Officer Joe here. I stopped you because you ran a red light. Listen, there's a lot of people in there and everybody's moving around. I'm a little concerned for my safety here. Could you please turn the lights on, and everybody just put your hands on the seat in front of you." Right? Now, when you write in your report, you were concerned for your safety or the safety of you and your partner, because there was moving around in the car. When people watch the video, they actually see, as you're walking up, they'll see people moving around and they hear you say it. So if you're experiencing it, is my point, say it out loud, right? Don't leave it for guessing later on that, well, you said you were nervous, but you don't look nervous. Be honest about it. If you see something, right? How many times do people, have you ever done this? You stop a car and you'll ask somebody, "Hey, listen, is anything illegal in the car, drugs or weapons?" And they turn and they look at the floor of the passenger seat. Now, why do they do that? Because people can't help. If they have something under there and you mention it, now they're going to look real quick to see maybe it's sticking out. Maybe you can see it. The cop can see it. So they automatically look. A lot of times they'll say, "Do you have anything on you that you shouldn't have?" And they reach to their pocket, right? Because that's where their drugs are, or the knife is, or whatever. It's just a natural human reaction to do that. So we want to pay attention to that body language. Now, using the camera to your advantage, if you did see something, you'd want to say, "Hey, listen, don't anybody move. What is that sticking out from under the passenger seat? Don't grab for it. Stay right there." Now, if it looks to you to be a weapon, a knife, anything like that that could hurt you, At that point, you would say, do me a favor, everybody step out, do not touch that thing. Then you go in and you take a look because it could be a weapon. If you have a right to be there to go look, then you find out it is a knife, it is a weapon, or it's the handle of a paintbrush and it's no concern to you. And at that point, you retreat, you get out of there. But while you're there, if you saw something under the seat, you'd be allowed to grab it, right? Because you'd have a right to be there. But say it on the video. Hey, listen, I don't know what that is sticking out from under the seat. Don't move, right? If there's nothing there, there's nothing you can do. But if you saw something that you thought honestly was a weapon or could be a weapon, that's fine. Make mention of it is my point. Say it out loud. All right. So when we think about that, and then when we're in headquarters, right? Say maybe we have a custodial interview and we're going to talk to somebody in headquarters. You want to make sure that, first of all, we are the good guys and the good girls. We wear the white hats. We do the right thing. Getting a confession involves lots of stuff. So my book, The Interview, and I know many of you have bought it and read it and told me that it has really helped you. And I'm very proud of that fact that my training can help. Excuse me. But in there, we talk about understanding who's watching these videos now. Right? Who's watching the video? The judge, the jury, the public, everyone's going to see that. And our concern is that you don't look like that cop. You know, the cop that nobody likes, the one who's rude to people, the one who gave somebody a ticket for no reason, or they lumber dumped them and gave them a bunch of tickets, or they had some people have problems with authority. They have problems with law enforcement. And in all honesty, we got to know. We've all seen cops out there that use their command voice in every single instance. They don't talk to people. They yell at people. We have to police that ourselves and treat people differently, not only because it's the right thing to do, but number two, it gets us a lot farther when we're dealing with people to get them to talk to us, to feel comfortable, to say things that they maybe don't want to say, and it helps us in our investigation. So think about how you approach and what you say. So if you're in headquarters, one of the things I say, sometimes people end up wrestling around with officers in the street. They resist arrest and they wrestle and they come in, they got a cut on their face, a fat lip or something, or they were in a fight or in some kind of crime and the victim fought back with them, whatever. Soon as they come in and sit down and they're on that video, my concern is that person is injured, right? Might be a criminal, might be a bad person. They're injured. So the first thing I say is, hey, listen, looks like you got a cut there. You got a fat lip. Do you want an ice pack or do you want the first aid or something? I can't tell you how many times people have come in like that. And they said, yeah, man, this hurts. Okay, I call the first aid. I leave the camera running. The first aid comes in, takes care of them, clears them up, and they feel better. Okay, thank you. It did a couple of things. First of all, it's the right thing to do. Somebody's cut, they're injured. You want that fixed. You want to help them. I wouldn't want to be sitting there, anybody I know, sitting there in the police station with a big fat lip bleeding or whatever. So you get them the first aid. But what does it tell everybody watching? You were concerned about that person. You're not that cop, right? Then that's a big deal. It's important because people have to trust you to believe you. So anybody who's watching that video, you want to show them that you're a good cop. You're not one of those people that are a bad guy or girl, right? You do the right thing. We also used to keep clean T-shirts and stuff in our detective bureau because sometimes when people are running away or they're fighting or they're having a problem, they get blood all over their shirt. They rip their shirt. They're in the mud. All that kind of stuff. I'd say, listen, your shirt's all a mess. You look uncomfortable. Would you like a clean shirt? Yeah, man, I'd like a clean shirt, right? You take that off, give them a clean shirt. It's a decent thing to do to another human being, but it also demonstrates clearly that you're concerned about this person. You're not there just to get them to confess or intimidate them. You want to get the truth. That's what we always want, the truth from somebody. And if somebody's there, you never know. It might be somebody you think is guilty and your conversation reveals that they are not. Maybe they were just a witness, they saw something, or they participated in a small way, whatever. So we used to keep that in there. The other thing you can do is if you're talking with people, it can be nerve-wracking for people to talk to the police, right? So I would say, do you want a glass of water? You want a cup of coffee? You want something, right? And then I go get 2 cups of coffee. You have a cup of coffee, I have a cup of coffee, and we drink a cup of coffee. What do friends do when they sit down together? They eat and drink together. Right. So if I got a suspect in there and you sit down, you want a cup of coffee, let them have a cup of coffee. It doesn't hurt. And when people watching the video see that, they see that you're not a bad person, right? You're worried about the person. He needed first aid. You gave him that first. You didn't go into, I'm going to get the confession, then I'll worry about it. No, the right thing to do as a person is to make sure they're not bleeding. They're not injured. They don't need help. Give them the help. Then you could talk to them. Then you have all day to talk to them, right? Plus it makes you easier to talk to for the suspect because they don't think you're out to get them, right? You're there to get the truth and to have a conversation. So you give them a cup of coffee, give them a clean shirt, and put some gauze on their face if they need it, right? Do the right thing as the interviewer. Develop a relationship with that person. Read my book, The Interview, right? You get it from Blue 360 Media, our sponsor, or you can get it from Amazon. But all of this stuff is in there, and it really works. It does help you to do a better job. And when you're on camera, right, what are they going to accuse you of, right? If it's not on camera, oh, that's when you yelled at my client, you hit my client, you threatened my client. Well, there I am on video, doing the right thing. I'm being a decent person. What was my goal in this process? To get to the truth. And that's all we want, the truth. And then if someone has to take responsibility for what they did, well, that's the way it goes. Don't you and I take responsibility for what we do? Of course we do. So our job is to be investigators, is to do the right thing. And one of the ways we can be successful is by looking out for the person that you're talking to. It makes them much more likely to want to talk to you, to trust you, to feel good about you. And everybody watching that video will know that you're a good person. You're not that cop. All right. So until we get together again, remember, do the right thing. Be safe out there. Be a part of the solution, not the problem. This is Lieutenant Joe for the Blue Heart Podcast.